You want to know how to increase your testosterone by 20%?
Hell yeah.
Needle-free, pill-free, completely natural. Check it out. Growth Strength NX here, guys. Like I said, we're going to give you a few tips on how to increase that testosterone level, amongst other things, needle-free and pill-free.
Yes.
We're talking about sleep.
Sleep.
That is the key to everything.
100%.
The key to everything. So we're going to have a few things of how your sleep affects your lifestyle, training, emotions, the works. First thing we're going to go over is diet, how sleep affects you and your diet.
Okay, so how does it affect your diet and why does it affect your diet? So there are many reasons why, but these particular studies were done over neuroscientists. There were 750 conclusive evidence-based studies. This is not up for debate. This is 100% fact. So you guys better listen up with this one, because this is very important for your health and also particularly in this sense, your diet. So what we need to do, this is going to be a breakthrough in your training, breakthrough in everything. Get 8 hours of sleep a night. That's the first thing. And now we're going to tell you why. So we're looking into it. So one of the studies that we've done is there was a study done where they had a group of people who on average slept around about 5.5 hours a night, which is the world's based average, what most people sleep per night in the Western world, when actually you should be sleeping 8 hours per night. And on average, these people ate 300 calories extra per day. And a lot of people would say, would you say that's not that much?
No, it's not that much.
It's not that much.
But if you multiply it over
Boost
the
it up.
course for a year, that equals 120,000 calories?
Yeah, on average between 70 to 120,000 calories were consumed extra than most people who fully slept. And how much does that produce in weight gain, Luz?
Anywhere between 1 to 2 stone over the course of a year.
Have you ever seen yourself recently maybe looking in the mirror and thinking, I've put on a little bit of weight, but I'm not really doing anything different. Like, I don't know anything different from last year or the year before, but you see a gradual increase, and each year you probably notice your weight goes slightly up. And this could be one of the main reasons why, especially if you're underslept.
Could be a change in lifestyle. So change of job means you're working a little bit more, which means you're sleeping a little bit less.
Shift patterns. You know, a lot of people who have shifts definitely have massive detriments to their health, not just in their diet, but in other aspects, but we'll go into that later. Moving on to the next subject of going into diet, and another sleep study, of course, was done, and what it actually was. So this particular study was a group of 2 obese sets of people. There was many people on both sides. On average, both the groups lost 70 pounds. There was one group who slept 5.5 hours or under, and one group who slept for 8 hours. So they both lost 70 pounds in the group on average, which sounds great. However, the reason why the sleep is more important, and the people who slept under 5.5 hours lost 70% lean mass. So those of you who don't know what lean mass is the muscles. The muscles.
Lose your muscles.
Your muscles usually affect your metabolism as well. So if you have less muscle, you have a slower metabolism, which of course produces kind of more fat gain over time. Yes. And so what happened with the rest of that 30% was it was water retention and fat mass, which is the stuff that you should be losing in the diet.
Now, compared with the group that had the 8 hours of sleep, again, they lost the same amount of weight. However, it was 50% of fat mass, 20% of lean mass, and 30% water retention. So obviously the same numbers, but in terms of where that weight came off, massively differs. Yeah. And it is important to note that no resistance training was involved in this study. Mm-hmm. It was all based on diet alone.
Yeah, so if you look at it from this perspective, 50% of that indifference of lean mass. Yeah. So you've got to think all of that was pretty much muscle, and now you're looking at what I would call a flabby type body. Yeah. And the reason why this is, so the issue that a lot of people have when they are dieting, the body likes to hold on to fat, because when you're dieting for a period of time, the body sometimes thinks that it's in starvation mode. So it goes into what we call a flight or fight response. And a lot of the time, if it believes that it's struggling to take in food, it holds onto fat as a measurement of kind of like, you know, not to die essentially.
Yeah, storage.
Yeah,
storage mode.
Storage, so it thinks it shouldn't die. But obviously, if you put that on top of lack of sleep, your hormones are severely messed with. So the hormones that are usually associated with diet are leptin, which is a hormone that gives you the feeling of fullness, and ghrelin, which is the feeling that gives you a hormone trigger to tell you that you're hungry. And the leptin, unfortunately, is like a bad combination. The leptin gets switched off, so it tells you you're never full, and your ghrelin gets turned up a lot higher, so that hormone is like, eat all the time. And unfortunately, it always wants to go to carby, sugary foods. And this is the bad association that people have with carbs.
Yes, they believe that carbs make them fat because they're overeating, because they're tired, and therefore, because the brain's like, basically feeding me sugar, feeding me energy, which is carbohydrates, glucose. They're literally trying to get that into the body. So, unfortunately, it's a lose-lose situation.
It is 30 to 40% of the increase of the 300 calories that people have per day, going back from the other study, usually comes from glucose or caffeine, which actually leads us on to the next subject about drugs, stimulants, that type of thing, and why you shouldn't have them when going into sleep.
So, caffeine and sleeping pills and supplements and how they affect your sleep. So you could still be getting that 8 hours of sleep every night. However, if you're consuming caffeine 10 hours or so before you're due to go to sleep, or sleeping pills, then that can diminish the quality of your sleep. Therefore, by having 8 hours, the actual nice quality of sleep is only reduced to like 5 or 6 hours. So you could still be in a lack of sleep. We did touch upon this in our previous video. If you want to check it out, it'll be up there. Never gets it right.
Yeah.
Check that previous video out, and then it sort of links in nicely with this one.
Leading off the chemical imbalances with leptin and ghrelin, which we spoke about on the last subject, I just quickly want to go into the emotional side of things and how this can impact your diet and fitness and training and everything else on the outside of it. So, when you're underslept, there is a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex of the brain. That is usually where your logic, emotions, those type of things come from. There's also an area called the hippocampus, and there's an area called the amygdala. And I'll explain what these are, and then we'll give reasons why in a second. So the prefrontal cortex in the brain, where the logic comes from, gets switched off. So now you're not as logical. So you can't think ahead. You can't prep your foods. You can't do a lot of things that you would normally do. And there's an area of the brain called the amygdala, which gets heightened and it gets switched on more, which is where fear, anxiety, and kind of like anger, aggression, that type of thing come from. And what can that do? Why would that affect you?
So if all these things are going on, you have no logic, you're full of these negative emotions, chemical imbalances all over the shop, you're definitely not in the mood for the gym to start with. So you're missing training sessions, therefore not burning the calories you need to be burning. Then also you're not prepping your food or sticking to your diet because you're in a negative state of mind, so why should you bother eating well or prepping this food? And it also can impact relationships with people, so friends and family and things like that, which again can also impact your training. So again, avoiding people in the gym,
work
relationships. So just by having a little bit extra sleep,
your cortisol levels are going to be down, so your stress levels are going to be down.
Yes.
If you're having better relationships, you're in a generally better, happier mood. Not only are you going to stick to your plans because your logical side is switched on, so you're going to be less in an emotional state. You're not going to get quite as upset about certain situations that probably shouldn't upset you to begin with. I mean, there are some certain external factors where you're going to be upset, but this is nature versus nurture. Right now, we're talking about the nature side of things. Yes. What you want to do over a period of time is the nurture part. You want to limit certain stresses within your life, like we spoke about in the last video, getting better jobs, that type of thing, kind of de-stressing as much as possible. But in the meantime, if you get the 8 hours sleep, less stressed, less cortisol in the body, which is the stress hormone, better relationships, happier time,
better training,
turning up to training all the time, better diet, and all of a sudden it's an ongoing cycle. So positive ongoing cycle from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Fitness.
How does sleep impact your training, your fitness levels? So when you are in a sleep deprived state, your ability to learn and retain information is significantly reduced, or sometimes even diminished if you're severely sleep deprived. So what we mean by that is not just your ability to read something and retain that information, it's the physical aspects. So if you're learning a new move, like being taught deadlifts or handstands, whatever it may be. Try handstands. Whatever it is, any technical ability, reading, writing, your brain just physically cannot retain that information because you're in a sleep deprived state. So the antidote you're going to use?
Yeah, sure. So have you ever been like at work or doing a written essay or anything like that, and you read a piece of paper and that page, and you read that page and you read that page 3, 4, 5 times, and you just not retained any information, and it's almost like the words are there but you're just not taking anything in? That's usually a sleep deprived state. And what we mean by a sleep deprived state, it's usually under 6 hours as an average, but of course it's different in terms of, like, 2 hours is even worse, 4 hours is quite bad, under 6 hours is quite bad. But if you go in between like 7 and 8 hours, that's okay. You're probably retaining some information, and then 8 hours to 8.5 hours is like absolute bang on. There's an area of your brain called the basal ganglia, which is where it retains information, and then it makes it automatic. So if you've ever done something like the day before, and you find it difficult, let's say deadlifts or playing an instrument like piano, guitar. And you're like strumming the chords, or you're doing the movement, it's not making 100%, but you're getting close to it. You can feel yourself getting better. Well, the next day when you go back, have you ever just picked up that instrument or gone to the deadlift platform and just lifted and gone,
oh, that was easy.
Yeah. Why was that so easy? Like, that's the part of the brain where automatically overnight, when you're asleep, your brain slows down to 25% capacity. What it's doing is recognizing and reading that information overnight. So
sleep,
do it. 8 hours a night. Just sleep better.
Sleep better.
How do we sleep better?
You sleep better by making positive lifestyle changes.
Okay, so
that's how you sleep better. So, for example, turn the TV off.
Hour before bed. Try and again reduce your exposure to screens. If you have to be on a laptop or anything like that, it's that blue light. So just reduce the glare from those screens. Menial tasks before bed. So these are things like cleaning the house or the kitchen, just something to tidy your room just a little bit, just to sort of declutter your mind. So you're focusing on that as opposed to focusing on your stresses at work, so you can shut your brain down and just relax. And also things like reading is probably better than scrolling through Instagram. So yes, when you are reading, make sure that the reading is more recreational and not a learning tool, because obviously you don't want to overactivate and stimulate your mind. You want it to be as relaxed as possible.
Yes, pleasurable reading.
Pleasurable. Or do some pleasurable activities. That's actually something that's very good also. So, partners on your own, who cares? It's all the same. You just do it. And moving on from that subject, actually talking about that subject. That links in very well. Yeah.
Unintended, but very well. Very well linked. So the actual reason you started watching this video was how to increase your testosterone levels.
Yes, by 20%.
By 20%. So sleep deprivation, so having lack of sleep, can inhibit your body's ability to produce testosterone. So sleep well,
get better,
get bigger.
And for those of you who think just working harder in the gym and undersleeping will cut it, it won't. There is no outliers in this. Pretty much every study has shown that anyone who undersleeps has a loss of testosterone and sperm count. Just for you guys, it's fact. There is no outliers in this. There's no genetical people who are anomalies. Yes, no genetical anomalies. This is for everyone. So if you are going to the gym, working out hard late at night, and then going to sleep late, you're still losing 20% gains of testosterone.
So you're better off doing a fully focused session, 45 minutes to an hour, going home and sleeping well, rather than battering yourself for 90 minutes to 2 hours in the gym, thinking you're getting loads and loads of gains, then going home and missing out on an hour of sleep. That sleep will be much more beneficial than that extra hour in the gym.
Yeah, so take away from today, 8.5 hours sleep.
Eat, sleep,
Yes,
train, repeat.
that's it. If you do not sleep 8.5 hours, your training and your diet will be pretty much automatically diminished.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not okay and not good for your fitness and health, but you're severely diminishing your health when you don't sleep properly. Just before we finish that video, I want to give you some informational stuff just outside the fitness realm, but it's still important that it links to sleep. If you are a 40-year-old man or woman and you are regularly training, it doesn't matter if you're sleeping under 6 hours a night, you are 200% more likely to have a heart attack, and also you're much more likely to be on high blood pressure tablets because you have high blood pressure. So if you're wondering what it is and you're taking drugs, pills, whatever from your doctors, just get some more sleep and it's the biggest cure for your health possible. Then you can train more.
So key things to take away from this video is sleep, sleep, sleep.
8 hours.
8 hours, eight or more hours. So get yourself to bed. Now,
Go.
If you like this video, we strongly recommend you check out our previous videos, especially the last few that we released, because they're all based around other ways to burn fat, build muscle, not specifically to how to train, but more about stress levels, eating, that sort of stuff. So definitely check out these. There'll be a playlist here of all those videos, and then make sure you subscribe.
It's like our series, isn't it, really?
Yes.
It's our series of this. So yeah, check them all out.
Check them all out.
Share.
Share.